Hello and welcome to Raw Talks and Universal Truth. So, here, this is the podcast exploring all things spiritual. We've got manifestation, we've got quantum healing, we've got channeling, we've got light language. You name it, we've got it. So, I am Jenny Priestner. I'm a manifestation and mindset mentor. I help people harness the power of their thoughts, align their energy so they can manifest and attract a life that they desire. And I am joined here by the beautiful.
Activation, Amy Goodwin. So I am an angelic channel and a light language activation and guide, and I help healers and light workers access their confidence in their channeling abilities, get to know their angels and guides so that they can manifest their highest reality.
Wow, absolutely fascinating. So today we are going to be speaking about how to quantum jump in manifestation. So quantum jumping then, I'm just going to say, so we're just going to start with it's got a couple of names. And before we even start that, I'm just going to say, guys, if you absolutely love our podcast, please like and subscribe. It does make a difference. Obviously, it pushes out the content to other people, just getting the message out there as well. And if there's got any comments, just stick them down below. We always love to reply to them. And obviously, it just helps us build content in the future. So let's get started then. Quantum jumping for manifestation. So as I was saying there, it's got a couple of names. So just to speak few, we've got quantum leaping, we've got timeline work. So if you've ever heard of any of those, it is all in the same, it is as one. So wonderful, Amy, then, do you want to describe to the listeners then what is quantum jumping, quantum leaping, timeline work? Like what is it? What's going on?
Yeah, so I will try and keep it as simple as possible before we get too spiritual. Okay, so we're all about that here. So there's different angles that we can approach it from. So I would probably say in simple terms, it's becoming the best version of yourself, like the highest version of yourself, right? So if we want to get like spiritual, like super spiritual, so the way that I like to look at things and approach things, because of the work that I do, like the healing regressions and stuff, and like working with, as Jenny says, different timelines, okay, is we have when we are incarnated here, when our soul decides to come in and be a human, there are different opportunities available to us for learning and growth. And it's like those learning and growth opportunities have different parallel realities available. So if you kind of think of like, a camera roll on a film where it's got different frames on there, each one of those. So let's say, for example, we're destined to like, I believe we're destined to meet certain people. We're destined to have different experiences. However, how those play out, and this is like where the manifestation comes in, is up to you. It's like we come into this life with, let's say, an intention or a template. And if you can imagine, you've got like this camera roll, and the camera roll is like one of the intentions. So you have an intention to come in with this life and you're going to meet this certain person, right? And this could be where you start to tie karma into it, right? So you've decided you're going to come to earth, you're going to have this connection with this person. Now, the frames, I don't know if they're called freeze frames, on like that is a reality. So maybe with this person, you could have a not so nice interaction with them. Maybe you could have like a nice interaction with them where you become friends. Maybe you could have an interaction where you become lovers. Maybe you could have an interaction where you get married and have kids, right? So there's all of these realities with this person available to you, right? And your focus, your intention determines where, and your mindset. So if you didn't watch last week, we did a whole podcast on your mindset, because your mindset creates. So go back and watch that after this. You focus on a specific reality, the one that you want, okay, and that's what manifests. But the way that you do that I think I'll leave that there for now because I don't want to go too much into the way that we do that because we're going to cover that later on. So what would you, what would you take from that, or how would you describe quantum jumping?
I really like that analogy, to be honest, like with all the different freeze frames and snapshots. But the way my mind visualizes it is there's quite a few films that actually cover this as well, which I'm going to go into in a minute. Because if you've ever seen any of them, you're like, oh, right, that's what it is. So the way my mind kind of sees it is this is like a holographic universe. So I always imagine it is because I sort of deal with the word like timelines or like timeline jumping. So if you imagine I'm stood here now and I've got multiple realities in front of me, yeah? So I've got access to each and every one of those. So yeah, it's like you're saying, it's tapping into different realities and being able to kind of move up the ladder and what's available to you. And this is the thing, when we say with the mind, it's like anything's possible. Like we can be and we can do what we want to be. And I think that's the key with manifestation and quantum jumping, really. It's like we have got these capabilities and these possibilities available to us, but we just get fixated on what we're not. We get fixated on locked in into where we are. And most of the time, you've got all these beautiful realities that are available to you in front of you, but you've got like those things that horses have on, and it's like, like the little blinders, and they can't see anything that's directly in front of them. So all you're ever manifesting is what you are doing right now. You're only ever able to ever manifest what's in front of you. So you're not able to jump anywhere or able to see these timelines because you're not looking up to see, right, okay, what's out there. So there's quite a few things tied in with this. Is obviously we've got mindset, limiting beliefs, we've got self-belief. How could you ever jump to a different timeline where you were living this epic life where you just felt so much love if you didn't feel like you were worthy of it? So again, everything that we've spoke about in previous podcasts, please go back and listen to them because again, we are going to touch on them in these, but we're not going to fully expand on them. So again, looking into the we are energy, looking into the mindset, looking into manifestation, they will all kind of fit all the pieces together that make this one a little bit more understandable, if that makes sense. So I feel like now then, if again with these timelines, it's like it's parallel realities, which I think we were going to touch on as well, wasn't it? So, like if you think about deja vu as well, when people get it and it's like, I know that I've experienced this before. And it's because it's another a parallel reality. Say that really quick. Parallel reality. I've nailed it. Parallel reality where you've got the opportunity of merging in and out of. So it's where, again, you've probably reincarnated, got exactly where you were before and experienced the same feeling of like, right, okay, I've seen this before. So, yeah, do you have anything to add on that one?
Yeah, I really like what you were saying about the blinkers. It's like all of these things, all of these realities are available to us. But it's like you've got your blinkers on when you've not worked on your beliefs and you've not worked on your mindset, because it's like your consciousness, your mind just doesn't see them. It's like you don't see the opportunities, or you don't see the situation it's like in its highest timeline, right? So what you're actually doing there, is you are then giving power to your 3D reality, what's currently in front of you, which is a past manifestation anyway from your previous thoughts, feelings, and energy. And this is why people stay in Groundhog's Day, because it's like you're just focusing on something that has been created previously from your previous limiting thoughts. So quantum jumping is where you break the pattern, right? It's literally where you go
Have we lost her?
differently. So yeah, you froze there, so I don't know if my internet went off.
I'm just waiting to get you
Well,
back.
it is.
There we go. I got her. So going, you were saying about the parallel realities and the limiting beliefs not allowing us to get to them.
Yeah, so it froze, so I don't know what was recorded. So I was pure still chatting. um yeah, so what the quantum jumping does is it takes you out of that loop, it takes you out of that Groundhog Day, right? And what you then have to do is you then have to move your focus and your energy in the direction of what you actually want, knowing that it has already been created for you. And this is a big piece of this, because so often, and I know I've done it myself, is like I have this desire to create this thing in the highest good of all, but then there's still, a large part of me going, why do you think you can have that? Like, who are you? And this is the unworthiness piece, right? And it's like, this is what keeps us focused in the reality that we've always had. But until you've actually created something new, like I say, it's already there, then your mind is going to keep going back to what it knows, because your mind wants to be familiar. But when we start to think of it as these parallel realities, this quantum jumping ability already exists. Every time we refocus our mind, we refocus our energy in the direction of what we really want. So how do you want to add to that before I go any further with it?
So I feel like what you said there, and again, we've tied into this with, I believe, the manifestation episode that we did. And I feel like the first key always comes back to healing, because that is where the limiting beliefs come from. So I'm just going to turn myself sideways. I'm a visual person, so I have to do it. So we're here now and we want to manifest ourselves. I'm just going to say some of them might want a better job, like because they want more abundance and they want a better lifestyle. So obviously this is where I am now, and the better job is this timeline up here. But if they've got feelings of unworthiness, no matter how much that they're trying to strive to get it, they're always going to come down, because this is the energy that they're emitting. So again, though, you've got to release that energy that is holding you back in order for you to vibrate higher, to reach this timeline, to become at one with the timeline. So this again goes down to, we speak about frequencies, we speak about energy, and we speak about vibration, and it is all tied in. These are the things that make up your reality. So yeah, I think like with the limiting beliefs, and again, not only with the vibration, it's the thoughts of, like you've just said in your situation, and I've definitely experienced them in mine as well. It's that feeling of not being worthy enough. And it's such a, if we imagine, it's like an anchor, it holds us down, it stops us being for where we want to be. And then so you've got this anchor holding you down, and you've got where you want to be. So you're like, where you want to be, but you're feeling of being held down. And this is why we get frustrated. This is why we get impatient, because it's like, I know I want it, but I'm not worthy. And it's like, in the end, you're in turmoil. It's like an internal turmoil, isn't it?
Yeah.
As like something inside you. So you've got your kind of your ego kind of holding you back, saying, no, this is where we should be. This is where we always want to be. And you've got your higher self wanting to float about and vibrate higher and go meet these timelines, and it's kind of like a push and a pull. And that's where this is the people that I kind of work with, that are feeling lost and feeling stuck. And in the end, it is about letting go of the ego, becoming that new identity and rising higher into that new timeline. So yeah, I feel like healing work, I would definitely say, is kind of like a step. Might not be first step, but there's, I feel like the few first steps are kind of like the same, like working on your mindset and healing and things like that. It's all kind of, those are your foundations really, aren't they? So that we speak about. But yeah, definitely just being able to just let go, to allow yourself to rise on high.
Yeah. Should we talk about how we've specifically then actually quantum jumped, and like maybe give them some of the steps then to move forward?
Yeah. So should we do the steps first, and then we can give our analogies of how we've done it, if that makes sense?
Um, I'm just gonna talk and then we'll see what happens, if that's all
Okay, go for it.
right. So like, okay, so this is how I quantum jump. Yours might be different, Jenny, but like, so basically, I'm a very visual person. I've always had a really, really good imagination, right? So, and if you haven't got like, if you struggle with doing imaginal acts, so they called, then it's just a case of literally, it's like a muscle. It's like anything, you just work on it a bit at a time. So in a situation where I quantum jumped, then probably the biggest one where I really, really intentionally did it was when I wanted to leave my full-time job. So I was working in a warehouse just to like get by and kind of, pay the bills and stuff. And I really wanted to do my spiritual work full time. And so I spent like, I would get up 15 minutes earlier, bearing in mind I was already getting up at like 5. So I would literally get up at 4:45. So there's an element of discipline with this. Like with everything, that discipline is involved. You cannot change your life without discipline, right? So it's like, I had to get up even earlier, right? So my excuse could have been, I already get up early, so I'm not getting up any earlier. Like, no, it was like, I am sick of this. This is not going to be my life. I can get up 15 minutes earlier. So I did. I got up 15 minutes earlier and I spent 15 minutes writing out in detail in my journal my day as if, and this is the big one, as if I was already a full-time spiritual coach and healer. So I would literally write my whole day from start to finish. Like, I'm so grateful now that I can get up and go and do some yoga and I can do some self-care exercises. And I'm so excited that now I've got a client booked in. And to be fair, I didn't even write it like that. I'd write it as if it was the end of the day. So I would actually write it. This is
Dear
probably the
diary.
bit. Yeah, I'd write, I'm so grateful that today I went to yoga, and then so it was in past tense, which tricks your mind into believing that it has already happened, right? And so on. And then I had this for my lunch, and then I met this person, and then I had, a YouTube thing or whatever, and I would go through my whole day as if it had already happened. And at first, when I was doing it, I didn't believe it. And this is a thing, you don't give up. You don't ever stop doing it until it manifests. And eventually, it manifested pretty much exactly the way that I was writing it. And I did that for probably really, really intentionally for about 6 months, right? And you just don't ever stop doing it. And for, I get people going, yeah, but that doesn't work for me. And the question that I've got to ask you is, it does work. It always works. It's persistence. It is manifestation is a game of persistence. You will get there if you just keep going, right? Because it already exists. It is just a case of focusing. So other things that I've done, so I manifested dancing on like big stages for like world famous DJs. And there was no seeming way that could ever happen, because it was my dream to be like a podium dancer, stage dancer. It all happened better than exactly I could have ever thought. And what I actually did for that one was I used to draw myself on stages with all these thousands and thousands of people, and I used to draw the DJ and everything, right? So that was another one. So I don't know if you've ever seen Penny Crayon when you was like younger, and that is another way of doing it. If you like art, draw it, because what it's about is it's about getting yourself in the end state of already having it. What this does is this is reprogramming your mind, but in a slightly different way, right? So you can do it through writing your reality, you can do it through drawing your reality. It doesn't matter. What matters is you're moving your thoughts, feelings, and energy into the belief that you already have what you want right now. And that's how you drop it in, right? In a way where it's just aligning your energy into quantum jump. That's what quantum jumping is. That's how I did it. So yeah, do you want to share
Yeah,
your how
so
you did
mine.
it?
So it's definitely what you're saying there. It's the acting as if you've got to create it, haven't you? So with myself, I actually quantum jumped, manifested a new job, and a promotion it was. So obviously they put it out, I'd applied for it and everything. So obviously you've still got to do all the application work for it. And then before I'd had the interview, in my head every night, I was visualizing, this was when I was in my corporate job years ago. I was visualizing going into the room, having the job interview, the HR lady being sat there. And I mean, just the pure detail. It wasn't just like, yeah, you got the job, well done. I was visualizing everything, like walking through the office, sat there, having the interview. And then afterwards, it was the main one is obviously when they call people back and they're saying like, yay or nay. And mine was the callback for the yay one. I visualized the whole room, what she said, how she said it, the feeling of what it was like, oh my God, I've got that job. And that's another important thing. It's the feeling. So every night I was doing this because the brain doesn't know the difference between a real life situation and a made up situation. All your brain sees is images. So it's by creating these scenes in your mind, which Amy has done both in her diary and also Penny crayoning herself into her reality. Like she's telling her brain, like, listen, we're doing this, we're doing this. And what it does then is you align with your energy and then you start to attract, you start to merge with that timeline and attract it into. So yeah, so with mine, obviously I'd been given the job interview. And then obviously when it actually came around, everything played out exactly as it was. And yeah, I got called back in and I got the yay. So everything happened exactly how it was. So again, it's like I'd aligned my mindset with it. I again worked through all the limiting beliefs of why I believe I shouldn't get the job. Because believe me, all that was there, all that came up, and I had to work my way through it. Feelings of unworthiness and things like that. So again, I had to line my thoughts, feelings, and energy with it. And again, another one was when I manifested or timelined, quantum jumped to receive my twin flame. So twin flame is like soul partner, but a little bit better, in my opinion. And again, same thing, like every night, rather than my mind, I had to shift my mindset from like, well, I'm never going to meet anyone. I'm just sat in the house on my own. Everything's crap. There's something wrong with me. I had to really work my way through all those limiting beliefs. And in the end, before bed every night, I just used to like thank the universe for, I was just being how grateful it was, to just be someone's wife and just like to feel and experience those amazing feelings of love and just having your best friend in a relationship. And yeah, just really, really tapping into those frequencies. I took myself visually on where, like what kind of activities we'd be doing, where we'd be going. So in my mind, I'd already been dating them. I didn't know who the person was. I just know the feelings of what I wanted and the kind of the things that I wanted to be doing. Like to me, like a relationship is like rolling on the floor laughing, like that to me is like it's perfection, just being able to just bare your soul and be who you are. Like that to me is my twin flame. And I got exactly what I wanted. But again, though, when we are quantum jumping and we are manifesting things, the universe does kind of like to test you in a way. It does kind of like to go, I see what you want. I know you want it, but do you really want it? And sometimes there's always a little mini test that as you're quantum jumping. And sometimes there might be a little pit between the quantum jump. And some people might be like, well, that looks like too much hard work. I'm just going to go back to where I want to go. If you really, really, really wanted it, you would jump. You would jump over the pit. You will do whatever you wanted, do whatever it took to get to that reality. Because if it was too easy, then everyone would just be able to quantum jump and like, yeah, I just thought my way into £1 million. And it's like, no, it's like you've really got to trust, believe, receive. But there's always, in my opinion, and it's definitely written in the rules somewhere, there's always a little test at the end because that's where the universe is like, but do you want it though? And it might even come in the sense of like, I'm going to just use like the twin flame one. Might be sticky at the beginning, although it's like absolutely amazing. There might be like, you might get 50 shades of shit thrown at you from left, right, and center. And it's like, again, it's that belief of like, listen, this is going to get, everything's going to be all right in the end. But again, things are sent to test us, to test our resilience, to test if we actually want it, to test our commitment. And if you pass all these tests and the universe is like, do you know what? You can have it. Like, you have absolutely nailed it. Like, this is yours. But if you're like, oh, it's too hard, don't want it, and you start crumbling like a piece of jelly, universe is like, but you didn't really want it though, did you? You weren't willing to put in the work. You weren't willing to, kind of stick your neck out and really go for it and like work yourself through the tough times. So yeah, there's always that little testy pops. Have you been tested in yours then, would you say?
I don't know if I resonate with tests, and I guess it's all just ways of saying it, but I think it's more like we come up against our own resistance, if that
Yeah.
makes sense. And it's like test is another way of saying it, I guess, but I see it as more like we're testing us. Like,
Mm.
are you gonna hold on to your limitations, or are you going to let go? Right. And this is like where I really like what you were saying about like the anchor before. It's like unhooking yourself from that old reality. Because the other way that I kind of see it is like, when Abraham Hicks talks about the vortexes, and
Yeah.
you're in one vortex and here's the other vortex. Then she also says about like you can go to the other vortex, but then the other vortex can get stronger and suck you back in. It's like and it's learning to hold the vibration of what you want, knowing that like it's gonna be okay. And because manifestation requires change, and humans don't like change because our brains are wired for safety, as we said before. So these like tests are us rewiring and reprogramming our brain. No, this is safe now, even though all this external shit appears to be coming up as I go to my next level. That's how I would kind of say for me testing looks like.
I would say I've definitely been tested with mine, but it's again, it's once you get past them and it's like, do you know what, smooth running now, this is how it should be. But again, they were like, I've just got another visualization, and this ties into the mindset work and the kind of limiting beliefs. And so if we imagine a circle,
Mm.
and with each one of these, we've got what if. So we want to give me something that you might want to manifest. Let's do a dual task.
What's something that I want to manifest
Well, just
now?
someone that someone might want to manifest.
Okay.
Have I put you on the
Um,
spot?
well, there's like so many things, isn't there? So it's like, I don't know. Let's just use the new job analogy, the
Right,
typical
okay.
job, because
So
I like you. Let's roll with that one.
let's roll with that one then. Right. So we're gonna go. The person's like, right, okay. I feel like I'm gonna apply for a new job somewhere. Okay. And then this circle creates, and it's like, what if I don't like the new job? What if the hours are crap? What if my
Mm.
boss is horrible? What if I can't do the work? What if I have to work harder than in my other job? What if this? What if that? What if this? And so these are all other timelines that are available to us. These are all parallel realities. These are all quantum realities that are available to us. But our mind is programmed more often than not to create negative timelines. So negative what ifs. What if everything goes horribly wrong? What if I have to get the bus? What if the bus breaks down? What if, the job interviewer doesn't like me? What if this? What if that? And then there's a couple of timelines there, and one of them is just being, what if everything just worked out absolutely perfectly? But the thing is, though, we invest our time, energy, attention, focus all into the negative what ifs, because that's just how we're programmed as humans most of the time. And then again, in my kind of work, like manifestation and mindset mentoring, it's getting people to realize that even though there might only be that they perceive, there might just be that one positive what if of what if everything just went absolutely perfectly. It's getting your mind and attention and focus to hone in on that one, because that one what if is the perfect timeline that you want to get up onto. And
Yeah.
that is out there. But most of the time, though, we get fixated on all these other eventualities. And this is how we've said about this before, is people catastrophize, don't they? What if that happens? What if that happens? And what they're doing is they're manifesting these negative experiences into their life based on their thoughts, beliefs, and limitations from childhood. So, yeah, there is always that positive what if there. And it's about tapping into your energy and your focus to get onto that positive what if. Because honestly, I do hear people saying it all the time, like, what if this and what if that? And I'm like, well, what
Yeah.
if that never, ever, ever happened and everything
Yeah.
just went fine? Well, that'll never happen. Okay, next. Like,
Well, the thing is with the what ifs, right? The what if, it's recognizing that you're doing this first of all, but then using the what ifs to create your positive timeline, right? To quantum jump to your highest reality. So instead of saying like, what if, I had to get the bus for this job, well, what if it was closer? what if this job was close? So, what if there was something right on my doorstep that I'd never even considered before? Right. So and what I love the what if questions, because when you ask a what if question, it's not like that finalized. Like some people really struggle with the I am affirmation statements, because the brain's going, yeah, but you're not though, are you? And then you go, and then if you use a what if, and you go, yeah, but what if I was, right? And you can slowly move your brain into the more positive reality, into the more positive affirmations, into the end result, which is the quantum jumped version of your like highest reality. Yeah. So it's like the what if questions are really, really powerful, because they just change your mind. It's just a direction, because your brain can work with it a little bit more, because, well, what if it did happen? What if it actually happened? What if I did get that new job, and what if it was more money? And what if my boss was nicer? Right? Because there's a part of you already that if you want a new job, surely that's already saying that. Yeah. So it's like you've got to ask yourself more empowering questions.
I absolutely love what you've just said there. And within my coach, I call it possibility thinking. So,
Mm.
like you say, whenever you're doing an I am affirmation, right at the beginning, there's 9 times out of 10, there's a resistance, like say that little voice going, it's bollocks. Do you know what I mean? Like, so it is always there. But so say like, I am powerful, and it's like, but I'm really not though. I know I'm not. And it's like, what if I felt the most powerful I've ever felt in my life? And the thing is though, you can't, your brain doesn't create resistance to it, because you're not telling your brain what it is. What you're doing is you're asking your brain, what if everything worked out? And then your brain starts going, oh yeah, what if that actually did work out? And you will notice, even just by you saying it then, like I felt like my vibration and my frequency change a little bit, because it's allowing your brain what with the possibility thinking, it allows your brain then to create the image in your mind that you may have originally have had friction towards. And as we've said, our thoughts create our feelings, emotions, energy, and it allows your vibration to change ever so slightly. And by changing your vibration, you're then allowed to tune into it. So yeah, it's such a powerful one though, isn't it? Like, what if everything worked out for me in the end? And it's like, rather than, you can even do it as journal prompts. So you could even, as Amy said, use it instead of affirmations. But if you really, really wanted to go deep, what if everything worked out for me? And then upon that thought, list a stream of consciousness based on that. And again, these are what are going to rewire your mindset, align your energy to what you want. So again, though, with this, I mean, I feel like we start it off and it's like how to quantum jump. People like quantum jump. What are these girls on about? But it's so easy what we're speaking about. It really is what you are thinking about. The stories you are telling yourself is creating your life. You've got it way within your capability to be able to change this story. If you can't rewrite your story like Amy was doing every day, writing it out, so do your dear diary at the end of the day. It's everything that we're saying here has worked for us. It works with our clients and it can work for you too. It literally is, as Amy just said. You've got to be dedicated to it. And I get sometimes like they'll turn up and no, like they're so fixated in the problem that they love ruminating on the problem. Because I'll be honest, we get addicted to the problem. Our
Yep.
brain gets addicted to the chemicals and the hormones, like obviously cortisol and stress hormones, like that. Like, although we don't like it, we don't like being stressed. Like, if I'm being totally honest, your body gets a little bit addicted to the hormones, because your body does get addicted to, dopamine, nicotine, caffeine. It gets hooked quite easily onto what we give it. Like, obviously, oh, I can't give up sugar and I can't give up crisps. We get addicted. So if you're getting stressed all the time, sometimes your brain and your body seeks out opportunities to get stressed. It's like, yeah, I want that buzz again. I want that hit. So it is about just, you got to rewiring your chemistry. I feel like I've gone off on a tangent here, but you are so in control of your body and your mind and your reality. Just know that. You're powerful, man.
Yeah, it is like you it's about like learning to regulate your nervous system as well, because I feel like that's a big part of what, you know, like quantum jumping as well, because if your nervous system is fraught and, you know, you're really anxious, it is about learning to, this is where the healing work comes in, right? Because it's not about making yourself wrong for it, because that's easily done on this journey. It's, I feel anxious, I'm going to create something bad, and then that feeds into the anxiety even more. Like, I know I've definitely been there. It's like, I can't feel bad, I can't like have negative thoughts, because that's not real. That's not even real. I'm sure like Louise Hay, even she didn't have 100% like positive thoughts. I'm sure like there was like something that came out saying she had 80% positive. She thought 80%, like, but it took it absolutely years and years and years and years to get there. So all it is, it's just acknowledging your thoughts and your feelings, being really present with your feelings, and doing things to soothe your nervous system. And it's not talking about the problem in a way where you're bitching, complaining, moaning, reliving it. Talking about the problem in a constructive way with maybe a friend that's on the same journey, right? Who can mirror your stuff back to you. It can be with a therapist, it can be with a coach, right? But having that conversation in a way where it's not feeding into the drama of it. Okay. And this is why gossiping is just an absolute no. And it's very, very easy to be like addicted to that energy and to the chemistry it creates, because it kind of makes us feel close to other people when we bitch about stuff. It's just a fact. It's like, it helps us to connect, but you have to really take a step back from that and be like, is this the reality that I want to create? Every time I say something, right, if it's not with the intention for growth and understanding and healing, yeah, if I'm just talking about the problem just for the sake of talking about the problem because you want to bitch about it, you're going to keep manifesting that reality. There's no two ways about it. Yeah. And I'm not saying this from on my high horse. I'm speaking about this because I've done it, still do it so many times myself, and I have to go, I just see what I did there, right? And I don't make myself wrong for it. And I go, well, actually, what I do want is, like, you know what I mean? So it's just awareness. It's awareness and refocusing and reframing.
Oh, it's so true, and it's like I like how you brought Louise Hayes in there because Louise Hay, because she is one of the, when I was really going for my spiritual awakening and like really struggling with my mindset, I used to have Louise Hay 101 power thoughts, and like it really helped me. So even like to say that she had that, and like be honest now, like obviously I've been a coach now for 3 years, and I'm sure even like an athletic person who knows all about diet goes and allows himself to have a pizza. Do you know what I mean? Like to say that, oh, I live the most fruitful and my thoughts are always positive. Yes, I get the days when it dips, but I know the difference between unconscious manifesting and conscious manifesting. So as soon as I start realizing I'm going down, it's about pulling yourself back and, like you say, changing your energy. So if are on your journey and you are wanting to manifest and quantum leap, but you'll find yourself like Amy's, who's a really good example there about gossiping, which is such a low vibration and low energy. And if you gossip about someone, like you say, you're just going to keep creating that. So yeah, it's about like stopping it and just saying, right, okay, yeah, adjust it, change the situation. So at the end of the day, no one's perfect. We're not here to chastise everyone, not here to point fingers saying you're doing it wrong. All we're saying is like just learn to correct it and just bring yourself back into alignment. I think it's just, I always like using the swimming analogy, but like we're constantly creating. So create from a good heart. I feel like that
Yeah.
might. Do you have anything else to add?
Yeah, I just want to say like something that we've probably not covered so much in this is like quantum jumping is fun. Like it's so much fun. Like just imagine that you had your perfect life right now. Like you can go there now. You can go there right now. Like you can have it right now. You can create the feelings in your body right now. It's just a practice. And this is what it is. Like there is no time in spiritual sense. So all, and then that's changing the wiring of your brain. Like you can have it now. Like imagine a reality where you've got all the money you want, you've got the best relationship of your life, you've got the perfect body. You can have that reality right now. That's the point of it, right? And all you have to do, because there is, even though there is no time in spiritual truth, in the 3D reality, we live by time. So what then happens is there is a slight time lag, because as humans, we are processing through linear thinking, because we are born, we live, and then we die. That's how we exist in this reality, right? And so it's just, this is why it's all about persistence and not giving up, right? Because there's a time lag right here, and then what we tend to do is we look at that time lag and we go, it's not working, it's not happening for me, I can't have this doesn't work, and then we give up and say it's a load of shit, right? Or
The
we don't give as much
frustration that I was
energy or
speaking
focus
about
to
as
it.
well.
You just keep going, you just keep going, right? So for some people it takes days, for some people it takes weeks, for some people it takes years. And it doesn't mean that anyone is right or wrong or better, right? It's just that it depends how much resistance you have to work through in that area. But if you keep going, what you're doing is you're teaching your nervous system to accept more, right? And it's teaching, as you're doing the quantum jumping, you're already in that reality. So you're telling your brain and your body that it's safe for you to have that reality. So the more that you do it, the better. It doesn't mean exhausting yourself. Like literally, 5, 10, 15 minutes a day of doing this will change your reality. So that's what I just want to add.
I love it. So I'm just going to summarize quickly then. So obviously we've said the visualization, the acting as if, and so if Amy said you should use the diary again while you're writing the diary, you're creating the thoughts in your head. Mine was I didn't want to get up early in the morning, so I like to do mine right before bed. Again, may I point out on both of ours when we're doing it, either in the morning or at night, our brain is in theta brain waves. So this is when your brain is more susceptible. It's in this hypnotic, pliable, oh yeah, let's absorb it kind of state. So for us to both naturally have done that at opposite times of the day, but both times of the day were super on point. And yeah, just really kind of like acting as if. And again, though, and if you want to be something, if you want to become something, don't just wait for it to happen. You have to become that person. You have to act as if. It's like saying, someone going, "Oh, I really want to be confident." It's like, be confident then. What does a confident person look like? Embody it, act it, live as if, and then that is how you will merge with the timeline. The universe is not just going to come along and zap you and be like, right, okay, there it is, and all of a sudden you'll change how you are. You've got to become what you want to be in order for you to merge the energy with the timeline. And yeah, like Amy says, it is funny. You could just get, it's a constant recreation, really, isn't it? A
Yeah.
recreation of self and reality. And yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
so yeah, if you have quantum jumped, quantum timeline, gone into parallel realities, so let us know your examples in the comments. And again, please like and subscribe the video, just so obviously, just letting us know that we're doing a good job. Do you have anything else to add?
Yeah. We are doing a good job though, Jen.
Don't need external validation, guys. Yeah, and if you want to
But
work
it
with us.
helps. Because we're human. Just putting that out there.
So if you want to work with either of us, all our details are down below, and it lists our services, where to find us, where we hang out, and as you can see, we're really fun and crazy people. So yeah, and we will see you on the next episode.
Okay,
Take care,
bye.
bye.